Reporter Lounge Arcade again with another episode of What's in the Arcade. We have a special treat for you today. We actually have some pretty cool side-scrolling beat-em-ups in this row here, and we just got one from out of country, waited about 3 weeks for it, and just put it in this morning. So we are going to do some playthrough. We put it in our Aliens cabinet, and I don't know if you guys know this game, but this is called King of Dragons. This is a Capcom CPS1 system that came out right before the Tower of Doom and Shadow over Mystara Dungeons and Dragons game, but I find this game just more enjoyable. So we're going to play some of that today. Incredible game. All right, let's get set up.
Very excited to play King of Dragons with everybody today. So we're going to start with 4 credits, $1, and see how far that gets us. And this is a really cool game because you get to pick your class of characters. So you have the elf, the wizard, the fighter, the cleric, and the dwarf. The fighter, cleric, and dwarf all have shields and can actually block attacks. So you have 2 buttons in this game. You have 1, which is your attack, and 2, which is your jump. If you press the 2 together, that's kind of a special hit all. It does take some of your health. And the health you can see down where it says dwarf. Right now it says 30. And he starts out with 40, I believe. But as you level up in this game, you get more health. And so here comes, see that green sphere? If you hit that, that kind of hits everything on screen. King of Dragons came out in 1991 by Capcom, and you don't see this game very much out in the wild, as we like to call it, for public play. We were really happy to finally find this board. Been looking for at least a year, and it just has such a great feel to it. Everything is very balanced. The gameplay is incredible. And the way you level up in this game is by killing enemies, obviously, but picking up the gold sacks and the little gems. So here's our first boss. And dwarf is pretty powerful, so we should be able to get some pretty hits. You see the enemy's power on top. I kind of like that. Shows you exactly how far you are in terms of killing him. So we just got a little bit more left. You got me there. So we should be leveling up. The other thing that's really cool about this is if you look down by the portrait of the dwarf under his name, he has level 1 of everything. Okay, so now he's going to pick up a level 2 shield. That means he'll take a little bit less damage every time he gets hit, which is just a really fun idea for this game. And so that goes in hand with the weapon that you can get. His weapon gets upgraded and starts to do more damage. Now, he's pretty powerful to begin with, and a lot of these characters or enemies, he one-hit kills them, which is one of the reasons I like to start with a dwarf. Plus, he's a dwarf. I mean, he's just fun. Having a little trouble with this guy here. Let's take him out. Yeah, this is pretty cool how you fall to the second level, and he gets a little more aggressive here, but he's almost dead. So you see how I'm using the mechanics of the game, you know, to go not left and right, but away and towards to stay out of alignment with him. So just leveled up. And we get through him. So level 3 dwarf, I don't remember what his total health is, but we'll probably... And there's my second axe. So now the axe is leveled up, and we move on to the next stage. I just love how responsive this game is, the music, the enemies. It's very fantasy, Dungeons and Dragons feeling, although it's not Dungeons and Dragons. Those came out just a couple years after this one. Great game to play with a buddy as well. And you can actually have up to 3 players on this game. Now there's our first continue. So he still has 40 health at level 3. Now we have our third boss. This boss can be a little tricky with the dwarf because this is a flying boss, and well, let's face it, the dwarf's a little short, so you end up having to do some jumping. We'll try and get him once he lands. Ah, just leveled up. We'll get a few hits on him. So you have to stay out of alignment with him, or those fireballs will come and get you. I'm just going to take off again soon. Let's see if I get a few more hits in before he takes off. So like the elf and the wizard, they have more of a ranged shot, which sometimes makes bosses like this a little bit easier because you can hit them from a distance. The dwarf probably has the shortest range of any character. Getting him down there. He's going to come at me one more time. Yep. Okay, so you see level 4. Now I have 48 health. And we finally got it. So that actually gives you quite a bit more health. You can take at least another hit or 2 from the enemies, especially once you get that next shield. So now I have a choice to change, and you see level 4 dwarf, I can actually go level 5 cleric or fighter. Now I'm going to switch over to the wizard, and we're going to take a look at him. So you see he's got that fireball that he kind of shoots, so he's got a little distance to him. Although he can't block, he takes a little bit more damage, and at level 4 he's only 40 health instead of 48, so he starts in the 30s. But he's a great character to play. He's really fun. And especially once his staff starts getting upgraded, he gets more range and it changes into different types of fire, and it just looks really cool. So he doesn't necessarily have a shield, but he does get different necklaces upgraded, which helps his defense a little bit. But overall, just an incredible game to play through and just have fun with. Again, I don't know anywhere else that has this for public play right now. It's not emulated. Again, this is the original Capcom System 1 board. These had a suicide battery on it. This one has actually been the ROM redone with the unencrypted software. so we don't have to worry about this board suiciding on us. What that means is they put a battery in to keep a decryption code alive, and when that battery dies, the game no longer works. That's something that Capcom did back in the day to force operators to pay a fee, basically, to get their boards repaired. Not sure how legal that is, but they got away with it, and that's how the boards were put out. Alright, there we go. So, defeated the HYDRA, leveled up, and we get a little cutscene here that kind of continues the story. The Red Dragon, Gildas, has risen from his long slumber. The northern folk are overrun with monsters. So I'm not sure who that is, but I guess we have to go help the northern folk with some monsters. So there's the wizard staff. This should actually change my fire. So you see that instead of a little fireball, how it has that. It actually pushes them back a little bit now, which is kind of cool. So I just find that a neat aspect of the game. You can actually see the changes as they level up. The staff shields look different, things like that. The fire looks different. We have this down here at the arcade for you guys to come down and play. It's on a 25-inch CRT monitor. Looks, sounds, and feels great. And I think next choice, we'll probably switch to a different character once we get a little bit further along, just to show you guys a different character. Show you how that goes. Yeah, to get out of that, you have to shake the joystick left and right. Sometimes you get those traps. Yeah, so I use the special there because those birds are really hard. While you're fighting other enemies, they come down, swoop down on you. So here's my necklace upgrade. So we've got the necklace level 4 now. Should be getting to another boss here, actually, pretty soon. So the wizard shots are definitely not as powerful. It takes 2, 3, 4 hits sometimes to kill an enemy. But still prefer it because you got that range. And the elf actually shoots arrows all the way across screen. So some of these levels are longer, or stages are longer than others. This one actually has a mid-level or mini-boss. He looks like a regular boss, isn't quite as powerful. Still has the enemy bars, and you see how quickly it goes down. And it's no big deal when you kill him. You just kind of move on through the next part of the stage. So we almost got him here. There we go. There's no bonus, it doesn't tell you that you finished the stage or anything. So the other thing in this game, and I don't know if we've seen one, or I think maybe there's one coming up if I remember, but the mimics in Dungeons & Dragons, which are a treasure chest that will actually attack you when you get to open it. Those are actually in this game. Now they don't call them mimics, but some treasure chests will actually chase you around and try and, like that. There we go. I always thought that was kind of cool when I played this game. The other thing is just all the really cool music tracks and variety of monsters. we're going to actually be seeing some new type of monsters here pretty soon that we haven't seen yet. They're more like lizard men. I don't remember if they're in this stage or just after. But how about that cool music in the background? I think the lizard men are in the next stage. So when those skeletons drop down, you can see the shadows of where they're dropping. If you're under that, they'll actually hit you when they first land. So you gotta watch out for cues like that in this game. It's a little bit of a quarter eater. It's not terrible. There's games that are far worse than this, like Ninja Turtles. But that's just a fun game, so you keep playing. So here we go. We've got our Cyclops. Continue a little bit here. There we go. So let's see what's in the next stage here. I think that's where we might start seeing some different enemies. Okay, so we actually get to choose another type of character. So you see some of them are quite a bit lower, but let's continue with the wizard for now. Next time we're going to switch to a different character. Just got another level up. Now we've got 48 health. So every time we drop a quarter in and we get a couple of lives, each one of those lives has 48 health instead of in the 30s when we if you start with the wizard. So just cool aspect of the game. They didn't have to put that in there, but it just, like I said, just makes it really cool. It makes you want to continue and play with that more powerful character. That maybe had me a little bit there. So these skeletons are kind of tricky because you hit them, and then when they jump over you, they'll actually hit you. There's the lizard guy I was talking about. He's pretty good at blocking, so you've got to keep an eye on him. You've got to hit him a few times, and he'll actually charge forward. Let's clear some of the screen here. It's pretty tough when you have a few of them, but if you can get offline, meaning in a different lineup than they are, it makes it a little bit easier. But as you continue through the game, you'll continue to see new enemies. Oh, the spiders, right. This is tough. Just gotta figure out where they are and start hitting them. There we go. They're not too strong, but they're just kind of hard to hit. Cutscene here. Oh, thanks, buddy. I heard the red dragon is in the northern castle. Well, you better take this with you. So he gives you your next upgrade. So we're at stage 8. This is the castle, not the northern castle, but we're actually heading to the castle now. Level 9. Gives a little more health. Now we've got to deal with these lizard guys a little bit more. And some of these other dog-looking creatures that run and spear you. So enemies start getting a little more intense. But that's okay. We're wizards, so we can deal with that. So you can actually hit these and move them along with you. and save it until you have enemies on screen, and then hit it. Of course, I missed. I think we need to continue. Yeah. Here we go. Got another boss. This is the Dragon Rider. He's not as bad as some of the others. Of course, let me see if I can hit him with a little bit more ranged and stay away from him. Check the fireballs and that seems to be working a little better. Of course, he still charges forward sometimes with that spear. Yeah. That's alright, we almost got him. Alright. This game just goes on like that. Gives you lots of cool enemies to fight, different bosses. Continue with your level ups. Now I've got the Wizard Staff 5, which is pretty cool. So now we're actually in the castle. Instead of heading to the castle, let's switch over to the Cleric, show you how that works. I forget a lot that you can block with the Cleric. Again, it's just moving away from your attacker just before the attack, and they'll actually block. So that's how that works. That's with the Cleric, the Fighter, and with the Dwarf. So let's get over here, continue on, and we'll just play a little bit more with the Cleric and show you what he's like. But that's, you know, King of Dragons. If you guys love these fantasy type games, I mean, I love Golden Axe, and this is it's hard for me to decide which one I like better. So, see that we have another Dragon Rider already. Now this is kind of a mini boss. And we even got another level up here. And the Cleric is, I'm not sure how much health he has at level 10, but that's King of Dragons. You guys come on down, give it a try. It's an incredible game.